Hi everyone.
Hi Remi.
Hi. Very much so I make things very difficult for myself by cables, EFT, and I'm very much into like a height setup using like an iPad. I started using an iPad almost 10 years ago. I used to do like stuff like on the DAW or like Ableton. But then started playing like touchscreen stuff and really fell in love with that whole world. Things changed like a few years later. Like originally it was like in the early days of iPad, so like just one app that you use on the screen. And that was pretty great. You know, there was so much like inventive apps at the time. I might show you some of the ones I'm not using today, but there's all sorts of really cool looking apps that they're more like games really. But it started to feel a bit more professional when they started introducing like audio units, so it felt more like plug-ins on like the computer. So here I'm using AUM, which is literally audio unit mixer. It's like you have all the slots, you can add all your audio units, and like on the computer you can have to use a window, resize them and all that. So this is one of my favourite synthesizers. This is Mononoke. I am running it through a granular delay thing as well, so it had that nice kind of rising and fits kind of delay as well. Something playing. Something's still playing, I'm not sure.
Sorry, Remi, can you just clarify what software package you're using?
Pardon?
What software package is it you're using with that?
So it's lots of different apps. The main, like kind of Palette DAW host apps, or the AUM, and then load in all the individual little audio units. So I don't know if you can see all the way back there. So probably three. So all these different individual apps load in. Like for example, this one is like the. Let's make sure that I press play. Well, lots of things start playing. So yeah, that's what free playing there. I personally don't like using traditional sequences. I don't really like to program. What I do, I like to use generators, things that like controlled random. So like little robots, bandmates, to play bits for me. Because I can't be the whole band. So but I want to improvise. I don't want to be like just playing the same thing every time. I don't want to just press play and then check my emails. I want to make sure that I'm always busy, but there's always too much to do. So having little things that can add a little bit of character. And so for example here, I don't know if you can see it on the screen very well, but there's one here called the Autumning. I don't know how you say it actually, but it's it uses random notes. If I set that to rely into your way up, it will just play. So that's reliable. Turn down the reliability. Stop going off on one. And constantly right down, so just a random note every now and then. And this is the way I like to play. Oh, there we go. Playing for us in the background. And I'm very much the same in like my modular system as well. So really a modular sound. Let's stop that now. I still hear something, I don't know what's still playing. Let me think about what's still playing. Oh, it's you.
Got it.
That's everything though. Okay, so time to get to this side. So yeah, saving the modular. But that's something kind of playing, like repeating. I haven't done that, I'm just kind of grab something random to me. Yeah, turn off the guardrails. And stop playing. Now, at this point, I want to ask if anyone has any questions. One thing I'm trying to do must make it as small as possible. Like, so a lot of people like modular rigs, quite big and so we can do. And then that's when the iPad comes quite handy. When it's actually staying time, I'm having some problems tonight with staying time for some weird reason. I don't know. We'll get into that another time. I originally only wanted to just have one little case. And like, I think playing with somebody else in the band or something, I think this probably will be enough. But on my own, I felt like I needed some effects, and so I got this other guy as well, just to like, my crutch, just to make it work. And I probably do just these two, or even just the iPad. The iPad's a pretty powerful platform itself. There's a lot of similarities really with the iPad ecosystem and the modular as well, because it's like the AUM platform, rather essentially loading in all the different like apps, and they're like modules in themselves, and then wire them all to each other like MIDI, and also I can run things from the modular into the iPad and back out, and vice versa. At the moment I'm using like this platform, these sides modules I have, it's really great for me, like when it's a cross-data module, so I can like cross-date between different setups, so that I can do continuous like performance, lots of different, like almost like DJ sets, but all live. What's good about the iPad, all the tracks I have in there, they are like kind of, I'm not just pressing play, they are still performances I have to play, but they are more like songs that I can perform. Whereas what I do on the modular is a lot more free. Although I'm finding the more I play a lot of EMOMs around the place in the last 6 months or so, I find that the more I play the modular, the more it's kind of becoming a song I'm writing real time. So they say it's never quite the same, but that's usually something goes wrong. Like even so now, like for whatever reason, I have this module here, which is meant to be much locked. So this is a Wi-Fi able to link module. It can send out like a wired clock to the module. It's also a Wi-Fi hub itself, so the iPad is permanently connected directly to it wirelessly. However, it doesn't work properly right now. So do I. Try out, they talk to you about it, and it's decided not to work. But
turn it off and on again.
Probably is, you know, it probably is. It's funny actually, the last time I played in Nottingham, right at the beginning, it seemed to not be working, and I was like, because I have everything see what I'm doing, and I was like kind of panicking, like, what the hell? Oh, like, you're trying to connect to the Wi-Fi. But then it seemed like when I pressed play, or like, press play, hopefully it'll be in time, and it seemed to be working. I think there's some kind of bug actually in the AUM software. That's another thing I look at these platforms, that these are all made by really small teams. That if you have any problems with your kit, you usually send them an email, and they might be quite grateful, like, oh yeah, we'll work out that, yeah. I like to go to a lot of these trade shows and meet all the people who make these things. I used to buy like records. Now I buy like modules. It feels like they are like bands that I support. But sometimes I buy modules. I don't need it. Like at all.
Look at records.
Yeah. But I love what they're doing. And it's like, oh, I want to support them. I'm like, oh, God. Spent £2 on this. But I feel good by supporting them guys. If there's anything anyone wants to know about the modular stuff, or the iPad stuff, just say now, and I'll talk about any of them. Anything anyone wants to know about, like any of the apps that are available, or any of the...
The one thing I always struggle with touchpads is muscle memory. I can't, I need, when I'm performing, I need to be able to reach my hand out, know what I'm touching and get on with it. I don't want to necessarily have to be. How do you find, like, especially switching from something as tactile as a modular, do you find the touchscreen sometimes a bit difficult to interface with?
No, I think the touchscreen is much easier.
Just me then. Just me then.
I understand where you're coming from, but I would actually say that getting through all this is not as...
Fighting spaghetti is always a fun part.
I mean, as I was saying like before, they used to all be like one app per screen, and then you could get some muscle memory, you can do that with what.
Yeah.
With a sector like this, you can open something and it can resize it, move it around, and the muscle memory kind of goes out a little bit.
Yeah.
But then it's so bright, you see clearly what you're doing.
Yeah.
Big button press. it's not always that. It depends how well you know the actual little apps as well. So, for example, the one I was playing earlier, this guy, it's quite easy to see what's
Yeah, it's all quite righteous there, isn't it? Yeah.
It's essentially like a lyra 8 in software form. But it's also a MPE touchscreen as well. So and I think, as well, if you're playing like keyboard things, if you're playing to a scale, well, this one's set to a scale, so you can't really hit the wrong notes. Does that thing make a sound again? I thought it muted it. I thought it that what it was. I thought it was you. It's not you. Now this guy's not making a sound. Oh, there you go.
Solo.
It's always in a scale, so you can just reading part like in key with whatever else is going on. I'll talk about one of my favourite modules that I have that I bought recently. It's this guy called the Bishop's Miscellany. It's kind of a game changer really. Before I got this I wasn't really ready to play Modular live. So I felt like it's a bit too chaotic and I'm using what's the marbles, which is a random generator, but it's digital and it's quite deep and it has like scales in, so it usually always sounds like musical. But I was using an analog module called the Turing machine, which sends out it's a random shift register, so it sends out a different voltage depending on every pulse that it receives. And it's a lot of fun using that with the quantizer that you never know really what it gets. But then getting this thing, the Bishop Miscellany. Bishop Miscellany is a voltage recorder. So you can sample the signals coming in, loop them, you can also add like all sorts of like interpolations on top as well. It can generate things itself as well. And you can create playlists of all these things. You can build a whole song from like a random source. And it's by a company called Shackmat from Brussels. I was actually in Brussels a weekend or so ago for like a mini synth group called WAM. Part of the reason I went, I know very well with a lot of these Belgian guys, especially the guys from Shackmat. I think Francois, who at the head honcho at Shackmat's been a genius. All of their stuff is just designed for performing, for playing, and it's not just down to like having lots of different features. It's like little things, it's having like DJ type knobs that are just designed to twiddle, to play. Whereas you get like, say, this one here, the marbles, which are made by Little Instruments, who they're no longer making modules anymore, but they were like real pioneers in terms of like the user interface design. But all of their modules were open source, so you've got all these different clones, and yet and also make them anymore, so you can make their own versions. And I originally got some cheaper, smaller ones, but you don't really realise just how the size of the knobs and the way that you actually interface with it makes a big deal. It's not just about the source code of how it sounds. So, going back to what you were saying, like about muscle memory or knowing having something to play with, it's something that I've realised as I've gone down this journey how important it is actually to have like things that can keep your hands around. I'm lucky I've got quite small hands, I can get in this forest. But yeah, some of these aren't really designed for we're actually playing. I mean, the idea is there, but although the ones I have here, they are very much performance like in anyway. There's only maybe one or two that I won't touch very often. And a kid, I like this guy in the middle, the round of eights, which I was quite fortunate to do some bait testing for. I think it's just come out. This one has terrible notes. Like they are really fiddly and awful, but it's not really designed to be like, you know, like these ones, to be really jammers. It's kind of set them and you can leave below. So it's okay for them to be in the forest. No need to worry about getting hands on them. Is there anything else anyone would like to know about?
I've got a question. So I do visuals, I'm not sound, right? But I look at that, and I'm like, how do you troubleshoot something? When you're looking at that, I just look at it and I've got so many different inputs, outputs. Like when you look at it and you go, right, I need to figure it out. It just looks madness, man. It looks great. But do you know what I mean? Like how do you find yourself looking at it and go, right, I've got a method to how I actually can look at it?
I think it's because I have workshopped this layout for quite a while, and it's not really going to change much. There might be one or two little tweaks. Generally, you can't get to muscle memory.
Yeah.
And I did have, it's got a bit wrong, I did have a colour code for these wires. So, for example, I've got 4 voices out here. They all have like the white, the pink, the purple, and the blue. And they should follow along. And also, all the yellow ones were supposed to be the clock. But as things changed a little bit, I went to Supermoon recently, and I have changed this up a little bit. And I've got out those same colours, so the colour code has a bit wonky. But fortunately, you know, because I've played all the EMOMs where I wanted it to be easy in setup, have 2 pieces that have 2 sets of wires going in between, but I made sure that it was colour coded and also, right, I know that one putting in every time.
Yeah, so you've got a method behind. You've got a method behind it, but for me, looking at it, I mean, I love cables. I'm all over cables. Like, you know, doing visuals, or you know, you find yourself in a similar situation. That is just, it's great to look at, but like, it gives me anxiety as well.
I find actually the fact that the plot is not syncing up, and even though it's telling me it is, I don't understand why it's not.
It's just like if you're doing it, I suppose you have to use it, right? Similar to that, if I'm DJing, and you know people, because I'm lucky with it because it's glitch, right? So the glitch is good. So something that looks like it's gone wrong, I can make look like it's supposed to be there very quickly by just moving it around and mixing it around. And I suppose similarly, musically, if you've got that, you know, right, I've got something out there, I just need to work with it. If it's happening live, I suppose.
Well, when I played back in, what was it? Was it in
January, February?
January, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was actually a terrible set for me. I was having to put out so many fires constantly all set long. No one noticed.
No, but it sounded really good. Exactly that. But I suppose my point is just like it looks like madness, but also to listen to that part of the point.
I suppose like making people like seeing people going, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah. There's a performance about it.
Again, you're not just checking your emails. You are actually like.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's great to look at. It's just I'm just intrigued by it because to troubleshoot something live, as I say, like visually, if you've got video, if you've got projection, you can do it and you go, oh fuck, no, I'll fuck that up, and you can try and move it around it. But if it's sound, there's a different pressure about that as well. But looking at that, it's all exposed. If that kind of makes sense, rather than it just being a laptop. which is why it's called as well.
I
It just looks great.
I think this being all I have to worry about instead of trying to figure out something wrong is a lot easier than trying to work out what's going on around here. Like I'm still trying to work out what that noise is. I'm still. I thought I had it.
Yeah, I would agree because with the modular, for me, if I come back to a patch, I've forgotten it, so I'll have to rip it out and start again. But whilst I'm building it enough, you can trace the wires. You can, whereas on a computer, you can set all the connections up.
Right. Okay. So you're actually, so if you're doing that, you're literally going.
Yeah,
it's that you're doing.
There to there.
So rather than if it's software, you can't.
Software, you can make all those connections, but you're not
absolutely,
Not practicing is not a replication.
And it goes back to the tactile, right? So like you know where it's coming from. I'll just pull that out.
Fundamentally, all software inside looks like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So it hides the anxiety.
Exactly.
So that's the anxiety of software in physical space.
That's why I love to look at it, or also just think, shit, the pressure, like, just go, what the fuck? Pull that out, do that. It's great.
As you turn it,
It's interesting.
animation on that, so it's just a rigid thing.
That recent,
Yeah.
really bad.
Yeah, well, I told him 20 years ago.
You get more than that software.
Yeah, that's fine.
No.
This is an interference pattern from the CPU.
Is it? Okay.
Because the gain of the answer, that's the iPad interference. Yeah, if you shut the iPad down, that'll go away. That's interference.
Check it out.
Always got something running really low. That sounds to me like the CPU.
Sound of a CPU.
Cool.
Right. There you go.
No, what?
Anyway, thank you everybody.
There.